Welcome to Lurking in the News, Volume 7.
7 already.
Our
Holy
little
moly.
true crime news update. Yeah, I can't believe we're on 7 already.
Yeah. I like these episodes, actually. I hope everybody else is liking them because I enjoy,
Yeah.
for one, researching them because sometimes, and I'm sure everybody can relate to this, life just gets so crazy that I don't keep up with the news. And this is kind of a way that's keeping
Mm-hmm.
me up to date, honestly. Like,
Right, yeah. It kind of forces us. Yeah.
yeah. So, well, I guess we will jump right in here then with my episode. Or my episode. This isn't my whole episode, sorry.
Yeah.
My case. Alright, so I am starting with Jeremy Lyle. Sheriff Deputy Jeremy Lyle, who was 44 years old, was off duty on August 10th. He worked for the department for 6 years, making within the top 10 highest salaries for the Sonoma County Police Department. 38-year-old Mary Bonici had recently separated from Jeremy. They had 3 children, including a set of twin toddlers, and an infant. Mary was a detention specialist working for the Santa Rosa, California Police Department, the same department as Jeremy. They were currently in an active custody dispute for the kids. At 7:02 p.m., officers responded to an apartment on Quig Drive. The neighbor had called after Lyle came over to her apartment with the infant child, asking her to take the kid and call 911 because the mother was hurt. When officers entered the apartment, they found Mary was with a single gunshot wound, dead on the couch. The twins were found unharmed in the back bedroom, and Lyle was not found in the apartment. Police gathered the info and learned quickly that Lyle is one of their own. So within 30 minutes, they had located Lyle's truck parked in the lot outside of the Sonoma County Coroner's Office. Lyle was in the bed of his truck with his handgun. Police blocked traffic to the area and also got the helicopter out for around 40 minutes. Police negotiated with Lyle for 5 hours before he took his own life.
Dang. Oh.
Yeah, and so here's a few little facts I found interesting. In 2021, this is all reported, 258 murder-suicides nationwide were reported, taking the lives of 588 people. Those
Wow.
killed, 69% were women, 27% were men, and 4% unidentified. For the killers, 91% were men and 5% were women. And 57% of these incidents were between intimate partners, either current or former.
None of those statistics surprise me.
No, I just found them, that's why I said I found them interesting. They didn't surprise me,
Yeah.
but I found it interesting. So,
Which is sad.
yeah, kind of sad story.
Yeah. All over a custody battle.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm glad the kids were unharmed, but
Yeah.
yeah, left
But now
kids
they have no
without parents.
parents. Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
so
selfish.
yes.
So my next case is Iryna Zarutska. This case was pretty big in the news, but if you somehow didn't see it, Iryna Zarutska was a 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee who fled her country because of the Russian invasion and was stabbed to death on a North Carolina light rail train. On August 22, 2025, at approximately 9:55 p.m., officers with the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department CMPD, responded to a call for service related to an assault that occurred on the Lynx Blue Line light rail in Charlotte. Callers indicated that a woman had been stabbed by a male. Responding officers located the victim inside the rail car. The victim, subsequently identified as Iryna Zarutska, had sustained fatal stab wounds. A pocket knife and other items were collected from the scene. Investigators reviewed surveillance footage that showed the victim entering the light rail car and sitting down in the row in front of DeCarlos DeJuan Brown Jr., 34 years old. Approximately just 4 minutes later, Brown pulled a knife from his pocket and unfolded it before striking the victim 3 times in the neck from behind. Following the attack, Brown walked away from the victim and off of the train at the next stop. Responding officers located Brown on the light rail platform and he was arrested. And me and you, we both saw the surveillance footage of this attack and it was horrifying.
It's sickening.
Like, you literally see her bleed out. Like, it's...
Yeah, she literally falls on the floor and bleeds out to death. Bleeds to death. Just
Yeah.
alone
And, like,
on the
she,
dirty
like,
floor.
initially looked... Yeah, she looked so shocked and confused. Like, there's,
Yeah.
like, images of her, like, looking up at the guy, kind of. And she just was, like, doesn't even know what just happened.
No, because it literally
Horrifying.
comes out of nowhere. In a blink of an eye,
Yeah.
he reaches around and stabs her.
Yeah. And within a few seconds, she loses consciousness and falls over.
Do you know? Did it say it hit an artery or something? Right?
I would assume so. I didn't, like, specifically read that anywhere, but, like, it must have.
Yeah, to bleed out that quickly. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just terrible. And I will always advocate for like women. Like I don't know whether she had anything
Mm-hmm.
on her, or can we sit here and say whether she would have been able to do anything? It happened so quickly, but like carry something on
Yeah,
you,
he was
ladies.
behind her. She had no idea.
Yeah, but like I don't care. Brass knuckles, mace, a pocket knife, a gun. I don't care. You know, carry something on you.
Mm-hmm. And, like, almost the worst part was people around her saw this and did nothing. Like, there was a woman sitting in the seat, like, directly across from her, next to her, looks over, just gets up and walks away.
Yep.
Like, I
Yeah.
understand, like, being, like, shocked and afraid in the moment when it first happens, but the guy left. He walked away. You could have helped her.
Yeah.
It's
Or
disgusting.
like nobody tried to like detain him or anything, you know? Like I don't know. It
And I think
was
people were afraid of him, but
yeah. But yeah, nobody um helped her and she just
mm-hmm.
laid there and like honestly, this it makes me so scared that it's the world we live in. It really is scary. It's
Yeah,
quite scary. This
it
is the
is.
case that's made me I don't know. Like we know it's happening out there, but here's the footage of nobody helping, and we now
Mm-hmm.
currently, because of, I think because of outside influences, we now currently live in a dog eat dog world, and it's really sad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there's the what it's called, I think the bystander effect,
Yeah,
where, like, people, like, stand around, do nothing because you're waiting for someone else to jump in.
yeah, um,
And after a minute or
and
two, a man did come by and started trying to hold pressure um, on
did
her,
he?
but
Okay, I didn't see
yeah,
that part of. Yeah, wow,
yeah, there
yeah,
is a guy that does come over then a little bit after to try and help her, but it was too late.
wow,
And, like, right after the attack, Brown, like, walks up towards the front of the train car that they're in with blood, like, dripping off of him. But I don't know. Someone should have helped her. It was initially thought that this could have been a
yeah,
hate
I
crime.
agree.
When he was walking away, he was heard saying, "I got that white girl." Um, But when we have since learned, he suffered from schizophrenia and he does have a criminal history. DeCarlos Brown Jr. had been arrested 14 times in Mecklenburg County, North Carolina before the stabbing, with criminal charges dating back to 2007. On April 11, 2014, he was convicted of breaking and entering. While on probation, he was arrested for armed robbery and possession of a firearm by a felon. Brown was convicted of armed robbery and incarcerated in state prison from 2015 to September of 2020. After his release, he initially lived with his family, and his sister said he came out a different person. His mother told ABC News that he was diagnosed with schizophrenia and displayed violent behavior at home. His mother said that she had sought involuntary commitment, but that it was denied. The Associated Press reported that involuntary commitments are difficult to obtain unless a court finds the person to be dangerous. Well, considering he had just spent 5 years in prison, I'd say he's dangerous.
Yeah, and 14 previous convictions?
Mhm.
Excuse me? What is our definition of dangerous anymore?
I don't know. North Carolina reduced the capacity of state hospitals in the early 2000s, and the average wait time for a psychiatric bed was 16 days in 2024.
I'm going to be sick at this mental health epidemic in this country that our government does absolutely nothing about.
Yeah, they do nothing about it. Instead, they're closing hospitals when we need more.
Yeah, and prioritizing things that literally are doing nothing for the American people.
Yeah, when are we going to get a president that prioritizes mental health and
our
just
healthcare
healthcare in general?
Yeah. This, because like, having mental health issues is never an excuse to commit murder, obviously.
No.
However, I think a lot of improvements could be made. Yes, if we could start at the root of the problem here, like instead of just like doing nothing, quite literally. What the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we fucking doing for these people?
His mom couldn't even get an involuntary commitment on him.
She tried. I give that woman props because dealing with somebody with mental health issues is hard.
Yeah.
And she tried.
Yeah. And he stopped taking his psychiatric medications, so his mother took him to a homeless shelter because he was getting violent at home and they couldn't deal with him.
Yeah. Yeah. It's terrible.
In January of 2025, he repeatedly called 911 about a man-made material inside him that was controlling his body. Brown was charged with misuse of 911 and released without bond. So he's still a piece of shit for what he did, because at the end of the day, he's still a criminal, but he needed psychiatric help.
He needed help, yeah. He needed a lot of help.
Yes. His sister, Tracy, said... Oh, sorry, what were you going to say?
No, go ahead.
Okay. His sister, Tracy, said he told her multiple times the government had implanted a chip in him. She talked to him after his arrest to ask why he did it, and he said, "She was reading my mind. She was reading my thoughts." Meanwhile, she's just sitting there scrolling on her phone.
Yeah. And like, you can see in this video... And had
only been on the train with him for 4 minutes.
Yep. And you can see she's in comfy clothes. She's probably just running an errand. Mm-hmm. She's just living her little life. She's got a ball cap on. She's in her comfy cuffing pants, like she just like...
Yeah, I think I read she worked at a pizza shop and she was coming home from work.
Living her little... Okay, well, then she's going home to chill, man. She just wanted to get home.
Yeah. U.S. Attorney Russ Ferguson said, quote, "This brutal attack on an innocent woman simply trying to get to her destination is an attack on the American way of life. Of course, crimes like this affect the victim the most. Iryna deserves justice, and we will bring justice to her and her family. But crimes like this also affect everyone who relies on mass transportation to get to and from work and go about their daily lives, and federal charges are necessary to protect the public and ensure confidence in our transportation systems, end quote. If convicted, Brown faces a maximum statutory sentence of life in prison or death. And in response to the fatal stabbing, North Carolina state lawmakers passed a bill called Iryna's Law in late September of 2025. The bill, officially known as House Bill 307, includes stricter bail guidelines, mental health provisions, and changes related to the death penalty. And as of now, a trial date has not been set yet.
Just frustrating.
It's so sad that things like this have to happen in order for our government to pass bills to help keep us safer. Why weren't these bills
Mm-hmm.
already in place?
Yep. It's big action that
Mm-hmm.
speaks volumes.
Yep.
To honestly, any kind of our government, state government, our federal government, any of them, nothing gets done unless by force, by the people,
Mm-hmm.
honestly.
Yep.
Whether it's in an act of violence or protests or an unfortunate event like this where nobody
Mm-hmm.
had any control of he had no control of his mental health. Nobody else could get control of his mental health. And there was no other options out there. So
Yeah.
sad.
Very sad.
Yeah. Let me see. My next one. Oh, let me sip my coffee because I am a sophisticated woman.
And I'll sip my Baja Blast.
Oh, do you have a Baja Blast today? Look at you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So my next one is Courtney Martin. On May 16th, 2023, in Tyler, Texas, Courtney Martin called her mom from 2 miles away from her mom's house, requesting a ride home. When her mother arrived moments later, like literal moments later, Courtney was nowhere to be found.
Oh gosh.
She was never heard from again. Her parents searched for her for
Oh, I
months.
just got chills.
Yep. It was 2 years later, in the end of August 2025, after a few guys were hanging around a pond on private property, they found a backpack with some of Courtney's belongings inside. The Smith County Sheriff's Office obtained the help of Texas Department of Public Safety dive team. The dive team did locate bones while searching, and they sent the bones to Southwestern Institute of Forensic Science, and these bones were positively identified as 34-year-old Courtney Martin. And this case is still an active investigation and is being treated as foul play.
Man, like 2 miles away and you're abducted just like that.
Just like that. Two
It's
mile
so scary.
her mother, went and couldn't find her.
Mm-hmm.
Like moments later. 2 miles from the house.
Right. And I doubt she probably didn't willingly get in. It probably wasn't something like, hey, you want to ride? And she's like, yeah. Because she knew her mom was on her way. She was
Since her
probably
mom
like
was
snatched.
Yeah, because why would she if she already knew her mother's coming? It's only 2 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I didn't write down the exact time, but I'm pretty. It was late at night. I'm pretty sure
Mm-hmm.
because I think I couldn't get a lot of information of like the previous, but I think in one article it said something about maybe she had came from a party or something, but I couldn't get any information as to
Okay.
why she was like standing outside 2 miles away from her house.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
but it was only moments later that like, could you imagine rolling
Huh.
up and you just can't find your child, and that's it.
No.
That's the last you hear from them is, "Mom, can you come get me?"
Well, she was coming from a party. I wonder if it was a party goer that did something.
Maybe, But it was hard. I don't know why there's not. I'm guessing because there's not a trial or anything yet. Like we
Hmm.
just found the bones, that there was not much
Right.
information of
Yeah.
reported of what happened.
We'll have to keep an eye out for like. Hopefully, they can figure out who did this and give a future
Yeah, and then
update.
maybe it could be like a full little case we cover or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's like, talk about wrong place, wrong time. Like that's so scary.
yeah.
Ugh, I hate it.
Did you know this full story before you added it
Mm-mm.
to? Okay,
No.
because I was like, oh, Kirsten's gonna like this one because you like your disappearances, and now
Hmm.
it's not solved, but like she's been found.
Yeah. 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 No, I just like kind of came across an article about it, but I didn't actually click on it and read it. I just added it to our list. So, all right. Next up is Catherine Daviau. Daviau. I looked up how to pronounce it, but it's French. And every video I've heard of someone talking, they also speak French and had a heavy accent. And they said the name so fast, I didn't even know they said a name. So I'm sorry if I said it wrong.
I tried.
At a news conference on Wednesday, September 17th, 2025, Montreal police say they've solved the cold case of the 2008 homicide of Catherine Daviau. Police said Jacques Bulldog killed Daviau on December 11, 2008 in her Rosemont La Petite Patrie apartment. Daviau was 26 years old. Unfortunately, Bulldog died while incarcerated for armed robbery and attempted murder at the Archambault Institute in 2021. Police say workers at the province's crime lab identified Bulldog through genetic genealogy, a technology that wasn't available at the time of the 2008 murder. Melanie Dupont, head of the Montreal Police Major Crimes Unit, said, quote, over the years, several investigative strategies have been deployed and hundreds of pieces of information have been processed in order to solve Catherine Daviau's murder. We never gave up. The murderer then attempted to cover up the evidence of his crime by setting fire to his apartment before fleeing. But during the crime scene investigation, investigators at the time were able to collect traces of his DNA, end quote. It was discovered that Bolduc had contacted Daviau by phone after she had put her car up for sale on an online forum. Bolduc was found guilty of 2017 attempted murders and armed robberies. He was determined to be a dangerous offender and was imprisoned for an indefinite term. The judge ordered a DNA sample at the time, but COVID-related delays meant no sample was taken before his 2021 death. Bolduc's body was cremated, leaving no possibility of a DNA sample. But investigators say they ultimately identified Bolduc in August after lab workers matched parts of the crime scene DNA to Bolduc's distant relatives, applying a technology only used in Quebec since 2021. So that's pretty awesome.
That is pretty awesome. Good.
But also, COVID, his sample wasn't taken, and then he died, and then they cremated him.
Yeah. How many times did this
So
happen,
thank
I
goodness
wonder?
for genetic genealogy, or this wouldn't have been solved.
Yeah. I love science.
Me too. I love DNA.
Call me. Yeah, call me a nerd.
Yeah.
All right. Well, these are all pretty positive so far of like good solvings, except for, I mean, everything's been solved, thankfully.
Yeah.
All right. So my next one, where am I at? Is Emily Long. Emily Long, who lived in Madbury, New Hampshire, worked at Wingett's since 2018 as director of operations. This is a local chain wing place with a few other locations in New Hampshire. In the beginning of the month of August, The owner of Wingett's had discovered that Emily had possibly embezzled as much as $600,000 from the company.
Oh my God.
Also, back in April, I know, back in April, Ryan Long, Emily's husband, was diagnosed with uh, glioblastoma, which is an aggressive brain tumor that is unfortunately often fatal. He was 48 years old and worked as a school psychologist. They also had two kids together, Parker, who was 8 years old, and Ryan, who was 6 years old, and a third child who was a toddler, but I couldn't find the exact age. Emily had posted on TikTok videos about her husband and things going on in their lives, like having to sell her husband's truck. She was in charge of taking the money from all of the different locations of Wingett's and to report it, but she got sticky fingers in the process. A week after this discovery, on August 18th, I speculate the guilt and life became too much for Emily when she decided to kill Ryan, Parker, and Ryan, the 6-year-old. Emily had posted TikTok videos about her husband and things going on in their lives, like having to sell her husband's truck for money. It was discovered she was writing checks to herself from the company account because she was in charge of taking the money from the different locations and reporting it, but she got sticky fingers in the process.
Yeah.
A week after this discovery, on August 18th, I speculate the guilt and life became too much for Emily when she decided to kill Ryan, Parker, and baby Ryan, the 6-year-old.
Oh my God.
She then took her own life, but left the toddler unharmed.
Hmm. But killed one of the children?
Killed the 8-year-old and the 6-year-old.
What the heck?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a heavy one for me for the last one. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I feel like there's not many female family annihilators.
Actually, you know what? I thought it was ironic that I wound up covering this one when I just spit all those facts for you that only 5% of murder
Yeah.
suicides are female. So this is a very
Mm-hmm.
rare occurrence, I would say.
Yeah. Well, there's a percentage there for a reason, so
Yep.
it happens.
Yeah. And yeah, that's just a unfortunate event that I don't know, taking the kids and everything with you, like,
Yeah, that was unnecessary.
yeah.
Well, that's sad. I mean, again, it kind of speaks to our country's healthcare. They can't afford her husband's treatments.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you can't tell me she didn't make that decision to take them all with her without the thought that like he's dying anyway. Like I know
Mm-hmm.
that's morbid for me to say, I know, but it's the honest truth that that probably did cross
Mm-hmm.
that woman's mind. Whatever she was possibly thinking in the moments of doing this, she whatever her reasonings were, I'm sure one of them was that he was terminally ill. You know,
Yeah, that's sad.
it is.
Next up is Caden Speight. This last case I have is very recent and every parent's worst nightmare. Florida police issued a statewide Amber Alert on Thursday, September 25th, 2025, for missing 17-year-old Caden Speight, believed to be a victim in a reported shooting in Dunnellon in Marion County, which is 80 miles northwest of Orlando. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement said when they arrived at the scene of a reported shooting near Marion County Airport, they found Speight's car but have yet to locate him. Speight is a white male, 6 feet tall, 150 pounds, and was wearing a t-shirt and jeans and was last seen in the 12,800 block of Southwest Highway 84 in Dunnellon, Family members posted on social media that Caden sent a text asking for help and stating 4 Hispanic men had shot him.
Oh, wow.
However, these facts are now in question.
Yeah.
According to reports, investigators believe Speight had been wounded and was in danger. His vehicle was found with a bullet hole. The Marion County Sheriff's Office, including a helicopter, searched for Speight all night, and local hospitals were checked. But as of today, September 29th, when we're recording this, there has been a new update. Marion County Sheriff Woods released a statement today that reads, quote, "I know many of you have been deeply invested into the case of Caden Speight. When you heard the initial alarming information that was being given to us, many of you even joined in to help in any way you could. I want to commend my deputies and detectives that sprang into action and worked through the night and into the next day on this. In addition, we also had help from other state and federal agencies. Because of their hard work, the initial details that Caden texted to his family were proven to be false, completely made up. We did find evidence of a single gunshot where Caden left his truck. However, his claims that he had been shot and abducted were quickly disproven. We then learned that he had purchased a bicycle, tent, and camping supplies just prior to him reporting this. There were an alarming amount of red flags initially, but we also have to fully investigate until we know otherwise. We also had witnesses that contradicted the initial information. Caden simply rode away towards Williston while the rest of us were left to think the worst, and my team was working in overdrive to solve this case. To continue the ruse, Caden, who had a handgun with him since the beginning of all of this, chose to shoot himself in the leg, causing a non-life-threatening injury just prior to walking out to the roadway where he would be located by citizens. There is zero chance that Caden's gunshot wound came from any type of assailant. Many of you have asked, will Caden be facing any charges? What about taxpayer costs of this large-scale investigation search? I can tell you those items are not off the table at this point. Right now, we are still processing all of the evidence in this case, and I don't want to make any statements on that until we have fully examined it all. Naturally, my detectives had a lot of questions for Caden. However, his parents refused to allow my detectives to speak with him." End quote.
Wow.
Yeah.
What?
So when I first researched this case, this was like a missing person Amber Alert. And just today, I happened to see that there was an update that it was all false.
That's crazy. What was
Yeah.
the motive, man?
Well, that's why I'm wondering, like, what his home life is like to make him do something like this.
Yeah.
And the fact that his parents won't let him talk, they probably don't. I think there's something going on at home.
You're right. That is
I don't want to speculate and say that someone's abusing their child, but
um
what would make him do this
yeah, and like
and
yeah,
shoot himself?
that's pretty far to take it here.
Yeah.
you know. Yeah, I would want to know what the motive is, but like you said, he can't be talking. But like he had freedom enough though to like I don't know, like was it his gun? Was it his dad's gun? He owned other things, he had purchased other things. So like he wasn't like
Right.
like tied up in his house or anything. But yeah, I'm curious um if like the home life,
Yeah.
played a role.
Right. Yeah. Like, I don't know. It's weird. Because I was like, oh, wow, this is like a great one to bring up, like to make everyone aware there's this missing kid. And then it was just a hoax.
Well, good old Halloween hoax, I guess.
I guess.
So I have just one last little update on my end, and that is very exciting news because this was just posted yesterday, I believe, right? Which would
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we each have a little update of a previous case.
yes, so we have an update on my case, the yogurt shop murders, and it has taken 30 years, but finally, in this case, it has been solved. With newer DNA technology, they have been able to positively identify American serial killer Robert Eugene Brashers. He has been connected to murders in Greenville, South Carolina, a rape in Memphis, Tennessee, and a murder of a mother and a 12-year-old girl in Missouri.
What the heck?
The victims of the yogurt shop murder were 17-year-old Jennifer Haberson, 15-year-old Sarah Haberson, 17-year-old Eliza Thomas, and 13-year-old Amy Ayers. I cover this case in full detail in episode 8 here on Lurking in the Shadows, so if you have not checked it out, I would check it out. And unfortunately, that Robert killed himself in 1999 in prison. So that is what we were able to, with DNA, link him to this terrible murder. That was it's a terrible murder. So go check out the.
Yeah, it's a brutal case. Yeah, and it's crazy because he was never on anybody's radar.
No, that's not a name that is in, and nope, not a name.
No, and when we covered the case, it said that like the last two people in the yogurt shop were like two boys that were sitting at a table.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so we just assumed like it was probably them that did it.
Yep. No, and we'll never know.
I mean, I don't know. This was 30 years ago, so I don't know how old he was then.
Let me do it really fast, actually. He was born in 58.
And the murders were in 1992. Is that correct?
They were, was it 92? Look, I'm very bad, so
I forget.
I know
No.
it was early 90s. That was 91.
91.
Yeah. So 58 to 91.
So he was 33 at the time.
So 33.
Yeah.
He wasn't a teenage child. So
No. So he probably wasn't. I mean, I guess he could have been a customer in there. I don't know.
yeah.
It just makes you wonder, like, how did he get in there?
Mm-hmm.
Why did he do this?
There was speculation.
Had he been stalking one of them?
There was speculation that somebody came in the back door too, because they had already locked the front down for the night. So
yeah,
and we discussed
like
this
why?
in our episode. So
Yeah,
go check it out. It's a crazy case because now we'll honestly never know he's dead. We'll never know.
right. Yeah, that's why I'm like, how did he come across this open door? How did he know it would be unlocked, or was it just by chance he felt like killing some people and I don't
got
know.
away with it for 30 fucking years, even after being dead. Yeah.
And like, how did he get all of them? He probably had a gun with him to like make them all not run away.
Yeah, he had a gun with him because they were shot.
So that's right. Yeah. So they were probably afraid and just did what he said.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
That is horrible. But I mean, solved late.
Yes.
Better late than never, I guess.
Again, hell yeah, DNA.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah, this is awesome. I can't wait to like how many other cases this is going to happen to.
Hell yeah. Job security, baby, that DNA technology.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm waiting. John Bonet, you're next.
Oh, fuck yeah. Let's go.
All right, so I also have an update on Travis Decker. We covered him in True Crime News Volume 4. He is a 32-year-old former Army soldier with extensive survival skills, accused in May of killing his 3 daughters, 9-year-old Peyton Decker, 8-year-old Evelyn Decker, and 5-year-old Olivia Decker, after the girl's mother reported that he had not returned them on time to her home in Wenatchee, Washington, following a planned but unsupervised visit. 3 days later, their bodies were found in an embankment at a campsite in the Cascade Mountains. Their wrists were bound with zip ties, and an autopsy determined they died from suffocation. A months-long manhunt for Decker began on May 30th, 2025, and remains were just found on Thursday, September 18th, 2025, on Grindstone Mountain, which is a few miles from where Decker's daughters' bodies were found. Law enforcement confirmed this past Thursday on September 25th that the human remains that were found in Washington state last week came back as a match for Decker after DNA testing. Again, hell yeah, DNA. On Friday, Chelan County Coroner Wayne Harris told CBS News in an email that Decker's cause and manner of death, along with the time of death, may never be known because the coroner's office received minimal skeletal remains, and because of the time that has passed since his death, there's nothing to autopsy.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So they were able to get a little bit of DNA from other belongings and stuff that were found, but there wasn't enough remains to do a full autopsy.
I wouldn't be surprised if he took his own life or something.
That's what I'm wondering. I mean, yeah, he had survival skills, but
he was not.
He probably had guilt over what he did.
Yeah, and also I don't feel like he was properly prepared to be out in those mountains.
Yeah.
Because I remember there was reports of people seeing him saying he looked unprepared, like a hiker looking unprepared.
Yeah. And if he had such minimal remains, he must have died not long after the murders.
No, yeah, because obviously he was scavenged, so which is just what happens. So
yeah.
But it is the outcome, unfortunately, that I knew was coming.
Right. It was just a matter of time.
Yeah. So
yeah, that manhunt is over now.
Yeah. So lots of news today. My goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Active season. Everybody needs to get their shit together. Can we stop killing everybody? Goodness.
Yeah. Let's get our mental health in check.
Yeah. Go speak to your therapist. Okay. It's okay. It'll be okay. How about that?
Yeah.
So, well, thanks for sticking around in our news episode. We hope you have been enjoying them. So make like a shadow and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at
Lurking in the Shadows Podcast.
Check us out on TikTok at
Lurking in the Shadows Pod.
Any questions, concerns, or case suggestions, shoot us a Gmail at
Lurking in the Shadows Podcast at gmail.com. And just a quick little blip here. This is our last episode in September. This coming week on Thursday starts spooky season and our spooky episodes. So stick around for the first spooky episode coming out on Thursday.
Hell yeah.
And keep lurking around for our next episode.
Bye.
Bye.